Hi everyone, it's West Coast Mom, and I am finally done my C2C graph of a Westie blanket, and that's a great feeling. And so now I'm at the point where I need to weave in all these ends and do a border. So today I'm going to talk about the different ways of weaving in ends, and I've got 3 different needles here. This one is a bent tip needle, because you can see at the end there it's not completely straight. I have a regular needle that's just straight, and I have these Susan Bates needles which are meant for weaving in ends, and they have this giant eye. So I'm going to go over the 3 different methods here. So first I'm going to start with this bent tip needle here. So I have this wheat colored yarn here, and the rule of thumb that I've been reading everywhere is 3. So you go in, so you need to weave it in at least 3 different times in 3 different directions. So with this, I'm going to stay in the same area, and I'm just going to sort of weave in and out. The bent tip needle makes it nice and easy, so I've gone this way, now I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to go just basically like over, under, and if it's not exactly perfect, that's okay. Now as I've made my C2C, I've woven in the ends as I've gone along anyways, and then there's this extra bit, so it's already in there. So I've gone this way, now this way, now I'm going to go this way. Alright. And so I've done it 3 times, but since I have all this yarn, I'm just going to keep going because I might as well. And I'm going to go all different directions here in sort of a zigzaggy sort of way. And then that way it'll be secure. Careful you don't pull too tight, because then it kind of pulls on your work, and then it makes it, then you have kind of an unnatural sort of snag or pull there in your yarn. Alright, so I've gone all the way around, and then that one's done, and then you just cut off the end. I save these ends and I use them in for my amigurumi. So that was the bent tip needle. That was easy because it was easy to go underneath the different stitches there. The only thing is it's kind of a pain to thread this all the time. Alright, so I'll go on to other techniques now. Alright, here I am weaving in some pink yarn, and I am using a straight needle, and this one's a little pokey. And this works the same way as the bent tip needle. You just kind of go over and under in one direction. Now here I'm limited because the pink area is not super big, but that's okay. You just stay in that same color area, in that zone, and you just work your way through it. I like to do a couple at a time because it just seems a little quicker, because I think most people know that this is maybe not the most fun part of creating things. And I'm going in different angles here, just sort of over and under. The bent tip needle worked the same way. This one's got a sort of a pokier end, and it works just as well. However, I'm really bad at threading these needles. I always have to get one of my kids to do it, or I have to use one of those needle threaders, which doesn't always work, and I have broken many a needle threader. Alright, there's another separate end that I have to go through, and basically I'm just going in a full circle here because I have this yarn and I might as well. And like I said, make sure you don't pull too tight, make sure you're going in different angles, and then when you basically run out of yarn to make it feasible, you just trim off and save the end. And there you go, that is the straight tip needle. Alright, here I am in another area, pink again. This is the other ear, and I'm going to use the Susan Bates needle. You'll notice that the eye is very long. This makes it really easy to thread because you can easily get the yarn in there just like that. So it's a little quicker in that sense. It does have a pointy end, but they're a little thicker just because the eye of this needle is thicker, so it's not as easy to maneuver through, but it is doable. Now the nice thing about the wide eye is I can lead with this one, or I can switch ends and lead with this end, which makes it a little bit more versatile. I believe these needles were intended for this type of thing. Alright, and so I pull that through. Careful, don't tug too tight. And then like I said, even though I led with this end, I can lead with this end now because I'm going to change directions. And I do little at a time, and I work my way around going in different sort of, it seems very haphazard. I'm just kind of going all over the place. But then the more angles that you go and the more that you do, it just seems to secure it a little bit better. And as you can see here by this ear, there were quite a few color changes. And so I will be very busy working on this. All right, and let's see, we'll just go in here. And I have a little bit of yarn left, so I can do a little bit more. Let's go back in this direction, change directions again. Careful when you pull it through that you don't snag it too tight. All right, and there, I think I did a pretty good job of that one. Snip off the ends. So that was the Susan Bates needle, and then I had two other needles as well, a bent tip and a regular one. These ones seem to be a little bit stronger and more efficient, but they're a pain to thread. This one is a little bit, because of the thickness, took me a little bit longer, but it is easy to thread, and especially when you're doing so many, like look at all these ends, it is a little bit easier. All right, so that's how I weave in ends. I'm gonna get on it now because I've got quite a few to do. Next up, I will be working on a border. All right, so thanks for watching.